Welcome to the Fall 2024 D2L update here at John A. Logan College. In this video, I'd like to cover a few of the changes that were implemented over the summer. Among those changes include a new look and feel, which for faculty and staff is referred to as the new content experience. The flip side of that for students is known as the new learner experience. We'll take a look at those changes. We also added a new product called Creator Plus, which gives you a lot more flexibility in adding content to your course. And also you can add activities and do lecture capture or screen captures directly into D2L. Some other updates from D2L include some changes to the quiz or assessment tool, which standardizes it with the Dropbox and discussion as far as creating and editing those types of assignments. Also, we've moved to the new Quickly Attendance tool that was available in the spring, as well as the standard attendance tool. But starting this summer and this fall, only the Quickly Attendance tool will be available. So we'll take a look at that. The last of the changes, which I'll just mention here, we won't go into it in the demo. The last item I'd like to mention is D2L has stopped support for SMS text messages within notifications. So the only notifications available within D2L right now are the email notifications or using the Pulse app. And we'll look at where students can get access to the Pulse app in this demo. So in spring, we still had the classic content experience. At the end of spring semester, we implemented the new content experience, which looks like this. So this is the detail orientation course. And if we go to content, you'll notice along the left that the modules, which have been renamed units in the new content experience, have some color coding along them. That color coding is done automatically and you cannot customize it at this point. You'll also notice on the right hand side there's some changes in the look and feel. The controls are all here at the top. It looks like there's less of them, but we have an ellipse here which adds some additional ones. And we'll go through some of the changes here. First, I'd like to show you the new naming structure, which is really the biggest change. So this is the new structure for the new content experience. It used to be when you wanted to add a module, you went down here to the bottom left and you typed in a module name and created a module. Well, modules have been renamed as units. And there's a couple kinds of submodules you can now add. Those you would have normally added by clicking on the module itself, going to the right and adding the submodule. So that process is slightly different now. And we'll have some tutorial videos available on how to create those items. As far as structure goes, there's a limit of 4 levels currently. The top level, I've put the old name for these items in parentheses. The new name for a module is a unit. And if I twirl this open, you'll notice below the unit, I can add what's known as a lesson, which is the equivalent of a submodule, within which you can add documents and other items within it. Also, if you twirl open the lesson, you get another level of submodule called a folder. And that's the deepest you can go when in creating modules and submodules. So the new naming is unit, lesson, and folder. Within a folder, you can add documents. This is an HTML document. In the classic content experience, this would have been create a file. So we'd go create new and you would add a file. This is known as an HTML document. Now you can put the HTML documents directly in the unit itself, within a lesson, or within folders. And as far as putting PowerPoints or anything else within, is very much like the classic experience. It's just the renaming here of these items as unit, lessons, and folders, and then having just these 4 levels of materials within the course itself. By default, things are put in hidden, and you can just turn on. So if I want to turn on this module, I just go up and click on this, and it is now visible. These things are still hidden within it. So to create a new unit, you just click on New Unit. I'll call this Unit 2. And you do not have to put a description. And I'll click Save and Close. So there's my Unit 2. You'll notice in Unit 1, this is where that description would go. If you had put in a description, that text would appear here. Other things you can add are, you can add existing. Once again, you have the same kind of choices you had before. Putting in existing assignments, discussions, quizzes, checklists. You can also create new. Now, create a lesson, that's going to be your submodule, what's formerly known as a submodule. And then there's create HTML file. That would have been create a file in the classic experience. You get your web link, assignments, discussions, quizzes. You can there's other options here available too. And as I said, we will be making videos available that show how to create these various items. That creation process is very much the way it was before. Okay, so how do the students see the content? As I said, there's something called the new learner experience. So I'll impersonate a student, and you'll see what the students are going to see. One thing to note about going into student view, if you have restrictions on these folders like dates to restrict access, in the student view you're still going to see them. These have restrictions as far as here it's indicating that they can see this if the conditions are met. So I've put conditions on the release of these various folders in this course. If you have date restrictions, that will also limit access. But when you go up here to view this as a student, and then go to content, you will still see everything, even if it's restricted. Okay, so when the students want to go into this course, now this still has the old module names. I've not updated this. I will update these to be Unit 1, Unit 2 to kind of fit the new look and feel of the new content experience. So if I click on and twirl open this unit, you'll notice there are a number of items here. Now this is showing that I've already visited them because I've been in this course before. But when the student would click on these, they would go into this view, and then they have arrows here where they can go on to the next item, or they can go back to content. They can also click here and bring open a menu on the left-hand side. So this look and feel for students is very much like a mobile design that you'd see on like mobile access on a web browser or within an app. And the Pulse app appears very similar to this. Okay, so I'll exit out of student view. And those are the biggest changes in the look and feel. We will be talking about the new content things you can add because of Creator Plus, which is a package we added after spring semester. The biggest change we've made to D2L starting this summer was the implementation of Creator Plus. And Creator Plus provides more ways to put in content for your students, a way to add practices, and a way to add lecture capture or screen capture into D2L directly. So to add Creator Plus items, you go here to create new, and you go HTML document, and then right here is a plus symbol. That's the Creator Plus items are on this list. And you'll notice now we have insert element and insert practice. So if we click insert element, we get a list of various items we can insert. In this update, I will show you what some examples of those things look like. And then we will have tutorials available on how to create each of those items. You'll notice on the list we have accordion, and this is an example of what an accordion element would look like. And this is an example of what the tabs element would look like. And this is an example of what a click and reveal element would look like. And this is an example of what a callout element would look like. And this is an example of what a timeline element would look like. And this is an example of what a stylized quote would look like. And this is an example of what a flip card element would look like. And this is an example of what a carousel element would look like. And this is an example of what a hotspot element would look like. If we select Insert Practice, we also get a list. And this is what a drop-down fill-in-the-blanks practice item would look like. And this is what a fill-in-the-blanks practice item would look like. And this is what a multi-select practice item would look like. And this is what a multiple choice practice item would look like. And this is what a sequencing practice item would look like. And this is what a sorting practice item would look like. And this is what a true or false practice item would look like. Now these are just some examples. Within the D2L users group, we'll have information on how to create these, some other examples of ones that have been created, and that'll expand as more and more people are using it. So the last major part of Creator Plus is the ability to do screen capturing and lecture capturing within D2L. Now you access that differently. You go up here to the little gear icon in the upper right, and you go down to Media Library. And this is going to be all of your media items that you've recorded that would be listed here. To create a new item, you would go here to create recording. Now, depending on your computer, you may be prompted to allow access to cameras and microphones. I'm going to go ahead and click allow. So once you go in, it's going to show the webcam. You have the option to turn off the webcam, turn it on, to actually share your screen. When you share your screen, you have the ability to pick between different tabs you have open or different windows. And then if you're doing screen capture, you can choose to include the webcam down in the corner or to not have it down in the corner. Then you go ahead and record. I'm doing screen captures here because when I engage record, it kicks me out of Camtasia, so I can't record the process. So when you're done, you just save it. You do have the ability to do some editing later to edit out material. And then to insert it into a course, if we go back to content here and then this course, go to Unit 2. We would add it in by going to Add Existing. And then go to More. Go to Media Library. And there's the item right there. I'm going to go ahead and select it. Click Next. I can give it a name. And click Insert. And that item will now show up here on the right-hand side. And it is right there, and the video will then play. So more information on how to do the recordings and some of your options will be available in the D2L users group. Another update this year is that assessment creation across discussions, Dropbox or assignment, and quizzes is that the creation process is very similar across all of them now. There is one change with discussions you need to be aware of. So I'll go here and create a new topic. In the new content experience, there is no due date here. So normally if you would have had a due date available in this area of the screen, that will show up within quizzes and within the assignment tool or the Dropbox tool, where you can put in a due date. The other dates are over here, the start and end dates. But discussions do not have a due date available. So if you have due dates in course content that you've copied over from a previous semester, it will show up within the content area as having an old due date on it. And you cannot get in here to change that. You also cannot use manage dates to get rid of it. The way you get rid of that is to go into, let me exit out, would be to go to content. So if we go over here to the new content experience and scroll down, module, which is now Unit 6, when I rename these, has a couple discussions. If there was a due date assigned to these, it would show up here right below the name. And the way that you would fix that would be to go here, delete this item. So I'm going to go here to delete. And I want the top option because I'm just getting rid of the shortcut here to the discussion. I'm going to click delete. And then I'm going to go back into my unit, go to add existing, go to discussion, and select the discussion. And it has now been added back. And if you had a due date on there, that due date would now be gone. Okay, that is the way you fix any due dates that are showing up here for discussions that you can't find a way to edit those. You actually delete the discussion, taking that top option when it asks you to select. You want the top option to delete just the shortcut, and then just go back to add existing and add it back in. And that'll get rid of the due date off that item. So after spring semester, when we piloted the Quickly attendance tool, we turned off the native attendance tool and moved to Quickly only during the summer. That will continue also into the fall and beyond. So you'll notice if you go to grades and attendance that the Quickly Attendance tool is right here. And if you click on it, it brings you the first time to a setup page where you can begin setup. And we will be providing tutorials on how to set it up. Some of the differences, you don't have to go in and create all of your various dates for attendance at the beginning of the semester. You can create those as you put in attendance. There are a number of ways you can collect attendance, from QR codes to just directly entering them in yourself. And we'll provide videos on how to do that as well. So I will leave that portion to the video setups that we put within the D2L users group. But I can give you a look at what a page would look like. Let me go here to a different course. So if we go to Quickly Attendance, this shows the students, and so if this is on list, and once again there will be a full set of videos on how to do the various types of input. So you'll notice the students are listed here along the left. You can select whether or not the students are present or absent or excused. With the title here is where you'd put in your date. So if I was taking attendance today, I'd put today's date, go down to set the attendance, and then save it. And you can go down here to course report and you can see various reports. Once again, this I'm just kind of trying to show you the look and feel of it. We do have tutorial videos available. So records, this shows something very similar to the old attendance tool where you can see dates of attendance and who was there and who was not there. Okay, and that's a brief overview of the Quickly Attendance tool. I know many of you used it in the spring and preferred it over the old attendance tool. Another thing I mentioned at the beginning of the update is that SMS text notifications are no longer provided by D2L. Support for that ended the middle of the summer, so it was turned off at the beginning of summer semester, so that didn't stop mid-semester. So if we go to notifications, you'll notice that down here only email notifications are provided. If a student wants to receive notifications from the course, we recommend they download the Pulse app. There are links here for iOS and Android devices, and those can be downloaded from the stores for each of those devices. And that will provide them something very similar to the old SMS notifications. And we'll provide documentation within the D2L users group for faculty, and the students will have information about that within the D2L orientation and their documentation area within D2L. So we recommend that if you have any references to SMS notifications in your courses, that you revise that material. And we also are recommending that the students use the Pulse app to receive their notifications. And that is our fall 2024 John A. Logan College D2L update.